Hi, I want to welcome everybody to the webinar on pandemic EBT hosted by the Interfaith Sustainable Food Collaborative and the Interfaith Council of Contra Costa County. So we're at a timely moment. We've got about a week left to get the word out about this program that will serve a lot of low-income children. My colleague Morgan's going to scroll through a little bit about Interfaith Food. We're a nonprofit working to empower faith communities to cultivate their faith values through supporting family farmers, increasing access to local healthy food, and advocating for sustainable food and farm policy. Let's keep going. When we think about sustainable agriculture, people often talk about a three-legged stool. Environmental stewardship's one, economic viability is another, and then social justice. So we think of social justice as the weakest leg, maybe broken, and that's, however, that's a focus of many of our faith communities. So we're working to build bridges with the sustainable agriculture, the organic food community, and the faith communities to strengthen that equity leg, that social justice leg. And the topic today really fits squarely into that. Food justice includes affordable access to healthful food in our communities, and we have an opportunity right now to help low-income families with school-age kids get $365 per child for food purchases. And the trick is, though, or the catch is, many of the eligible families are unaware of the benefit, or they may be afraid to utilize it based on whether there are undocumented people in the family and their concerns about trust in the government. So that's why it's so important that faith communities help as trusted partners to get the word out. At risk is about $116 million could be left on the table if these families are not enrolling and taking advantage of the opportunity for P-EBT. All right. So P-EBT is pandemic EBT. Due to Corona, children eligible for free and reduced lunch get extra food benefits. These benefits are used to buy food when school is closed, and they can go to any supermarket that accepts EBT, or most of the farmers markets, and a couple of what some people call corner stores or small markets in the neighborhood. PEBT benefits are eligible for all school-age children who go to the school breakfast programs or national school lunch program. So if the students are in a household that receives CalFresh, Medi-Cal, foster care benefits, they should have already received a P-EBT card in the mail. And those students do not need to enroll online. That's about 2/3 of all the qualified people. And the way it works is if you have two kids in the house, they get one card. That one card has the oldest child's name on it, and twice the benefit because of the two kids. So if there's three kids, one card with about $1,000. If a student is eligible but did not receive a P-EBT card, they must enroll online, and the deadline is July 15th. Clock's really ticking. We've been working to get the word out about this, but it's time for a final push because there's a lot of families that have not yet enrolled. So it basically works like a debit card, can be used at all locations accepting EBT. And this is pretty new, last couple months, but it's not just farmers markets, supermarkets, it's also Walmart or Amazon if people want to make food purchases that way. Our preference is they go to the farmer's market. And the good news is, if you go to the farmer's market, you're going to get a 2-for-1. $2 of fruit and vegetables for $1 of P-EBT. So someone has a $365 card for their kid. Anytime during once they enroll and get their card, they can access $730 worth of fruits and vegetables at the farmers markets over the next year. So it's a big deal, and we hate to see this money be left on the table. The top of this slide, you'll see a piece about public charge. One concern, especially for immigrant families, or I guess it's only relevant for immigrant families, is that if they apply for certain benefits from the government, will that be held against them later as they work on a path towards citizenship and legal residency. So it's really important that we've verified with the state and several activist nonprofit groups work at state and national levels that accepting this one-time emergency relief does not affect public charge. So Homeland Security says it, Marin County Office of Education, others have clarified that for us. So this can be one reason that an immigrant family wouldn't apply or enroll, and they are not eligible for CalFresh for if someone's undocumented, but this benefit you are. So that's why many of the undocumented families that get free and reduced lunch did not get the card automatically. They need to enroll. All right. Just going back to the 2-for-1 for a second, I just want to show you those little logos down below. Market Match is the biggest program statewide that does the 2-for-1 programs at farmers markets and CSAs. And if someone wants to get on, wants to find out what farmers market near them accepts the 2-for-1, we've got a link here. And this information's on our website too. Okay, let's move forward. Well, actually, are there any questions at this point? I can take a question real quick. It's a pretty small group. Feel free to unmute yourself, or Morgan, if you muted anyone.
Othello made it too.
The one question I had was, I know that schools, while they were still open, were delivering food or making food available for pickup. And now that schools are closed, these students would be available to get this money. Is there something I'm not understanding about what happened once summer started, or is it all irrelevant? They're just eligible, period.
So what I would say is, while some districts still allowed kids to come in and pick up food, prepared meals at schools, and some might be promoting a summer meals program, this P-EBT is in addition. It's the families that were eligible for those, whether they got supplemental meals after school shut down or not, they get the P-EBT card and they can use that to buy food.
Okay, great.
And frankly, it's not, if they go to the supermarket, they can buy other things besides fruits and vegetables too. Okay, so again, it's food justice for all kids, regardless of immigration status. That's kind of the, I like to say if you're going to see President Trump in the next couple of days, don't mention this to him because he might not realize that this is a federal program that's helping undocumented folks. But that's part of why the government may not be promoting as much as we would hope, and that's why it's so important for faith communities to help get the word out. All right, let's scroll on. Couple of things. It's not for preschool or college age. It's for kids basically first grade to 12th. Families newly eligible, and this is another thing. I've been talking about undocumented folks, but if someone was employed, not using or not eligible for the free and reduced lunch program in February, but then they lost their job in April, now they're in a different financial status, they might not have gotten enrolled, and they might not have gotten the P-EBT card yet. And those are folks that we also want to get the word out to them to say, go ahead and sign up. You only have a week left. All right. So that's, if a family's address has changed after 3/16, that's another reason they might need to check in with the folks at the Department of Social Services. And we've got these details on our website, interfaithfood.org too.
And is this only California, or is this national?
It's a national program. It's a national program, federal dollars. So let's scroll on.
And the money lasts all summer long?
Once you have your card, you have a year to spend it. Or so if people enroll by July 15th, then they have 12 months to spend the money. If they don't enroll by July 15th, they won't get any money. So let's scroll on. So how can faith leaders help? First is inform your congregants and your neighbors. Many faith leaders are going to know people in their congregations that might be eligible but have not been able to take advantage of the opportunity or don't realize about the deadlines. So what we've done is put a draft newsletter article on our website that you can just copy and put in your electronic newsletter or send as a separate message. If you have a targeted list of folks, you can call folks, let them know about the deadline. The other thing is, I have a little list of things faith leaders can do. The other thing is we're sending a letter today to the superintendent of schools for Contra Costa County, asking them to do another push because, I mean, they have a complete list of all the students that and the families that could benefit from this. But generally, school districts have not been doing much to promote the program. We get it. They have a lot going on. They're figuring out how to whether they're going to have in-person instruction. They're figuring out how their budgets are cut. They have a lot on their plates right now, and but we're really trying to push to get them to do a last promotion of P-EBT before the deadline hits. And if you, Will and I are signing on to this letter, a couple other folks, if I'm not sure what group or congregation you're with, Okello, but if you are interested in doing an advocacy thing, we can get you a copy of this sign-on letter, and we're going to send it out to the superintendent of schools for Contra Costa later on today. And we're doing that in a couple other counties too, Marin, Sonoma.
I'll be grateful.
Okay, great. We will, I bet we have your email from the registration for this webinar, so we'll forward you something within a half an hour of this call, of this webinar.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. There's also an opportunity, as you know, many of you know, that when the U.S. Senate comes back in a week or two, they're looking at another relief package. There's an opportunity that the P-EBT program will be expanded, and there'll be another chunk of dollars that can go to families. So we're working with groups like California Food Policy Advocates and others to monitor that, and we may be sending out an action alert and trying to get members of Congress to support that. Keep up the message. The other thing is keeping up the message about market match. As even after this deadline, July 15th, families will have a year to spend the dollars that they received on their P-EBT card. So we want to let them know, hey, if you use market match, if you're a CalFresh, or formerly was called food stamps, if you're a CalFresh participant, you can get 2-for-1s at the farmers markets. And that's an ongoing program, whether you're using P-EBT or your regular CalFresh. Our phone number's here. Morgan's in the office. I'm not right now, working from home. And Guadalupe is on this call here. She's bilingual, bicultural, and can help Spanish speakers if that's helpful. We have a lot of resources on our website. If you go to interfaithfood.org and go to the resources section, we have flyers that you could, in English and Spanish. We have a little half-page flyer that we just developed in English and Spanish. If you have a food pantry at your congregation, you could get a stack of these and hand them out to people coming to the pantry and make sure they know about it.
Most of the food pantries have collapsed into the food bank of Contra Costa and Solano. Very few congregations are operating them right now because of the shelter-in-place orders being put back into place. But getting folks on this program is really important. They have this
information at the food bank.
So,
Steve?
I'll say the food banks in general are definitely aware of P-EBT and doing things to promote it. Honestly, I can't tell you off the top of my head how much the Contra Costa Food Bank's been doing around this, but I know that a lot of the materials that have gone out that started from the state, they didn't emphasize the 2-for-1 opportunity with the farmers markets, and some didn't emphasize the fact that undocumented families can benefit from this without risking their future, path to citizenship. So we can check in with, I think, Shanti, and even maybe that's something Morgan can help with today, just to follow up with the food bank and see if they would like any of these other materials. But I know they're doing some work on it for sure.
But this is important for other folks too, because January 1, anyone who was on disability that couldn't have applied for CalFresh was now available to apply for CalFresh and to get on that system. And just knowing that you can use it 2-for-1, if that hasn't been communicated well, that they can get 2-for-1 at the farmers markets, then that's even better, right? So
no, you're totally right. It's people, and there were some 500,000 people, that got eligible for CalFresh last year for the first time statewide, and many of them seniors, others that were people on disability, and yeah, and they were not. Many didn't know that they could get 2-for-1s on their CalFresh if they went to the farmers markets, and we did a little kind of push a campaign on that with Lupe. Did a lot of work on it in Marin, but it's a great point, Will. Market match is under, people who know about it love it, but there's a lot of people who could benefit that don't know about it. Last thing on this list here, number 4, I'll say if someone's doing a service on Zoom, etc., on Sunday, and they want one of the members of our team to make an announcement about this, we're welcome. We're happy to do it. Is there, what's the next slide, Morgan? I'm not sure. So summarizing key messages. If you received a P-EBT card in the mail in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, you can get twice the value if you purchase fruits and vegetables at farmers markets. Second key message, if you have children that utilize free and reduced lunch or are now eligible and you didn't get a card, you only have till July 15th to enroll. And by utilizing the program, you're not considered a public charge. What's the next slide? Yeah, so these are some of the sources. I want to thank Will from the Interfaith Council of Contra Costa County for helping get the word out about this. We want to thank San Francisco Foundation for helping support our outreach on this. And right now, I'll just see if there's any questions or thoughts or discussion with participants on the call. And Okello, I should say we are recording it because it looks like we're going to post something to the YouTube page for the Interfaith Council of Contra Costa.
We're trying to get the word out to folks who couldn't make the call this morning. Did you want to say anything, Okello?
Can we see the full gallery of people?
I think you are. You might be.
I was just appreciating that you send a recording. That is what I seem to hear. You are promising you would send a recording. That's what I was appreciating.
Okay, great. I think Will's gonna post that through the YouTube
so
channel.
it should be up on the YouTube channel of Interfaith Council of Contra Costa County within the next 30 to 45 minutes. And so, and then Steve, if you'll send me the links, I can put that in the description as well, and we'll make sure that everyone can connect with your office as well as the registration link for getting onto this P-EBT system.
Okay, great. We'll do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And any last questions, comments?
Thanks to Guadalupe and Morgan as well. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Everyone.
All right. All right. Have a good morning. We'll get to work. Okello, I'll be sending you a letter soon, and we'll go from there. Take care, folks.